Hey, what's good, y'all? Today we're going to be talking about yet another case of some extreme vegan parents neglecting and causing extreme malnourishment to their very own child. Now, let me preface this. This is, again, like I said, an extreme case. This isn't your typical run-of-the-mill vegan family just eating vegan meals and swallowing a gallon of supplements every night. No, the people we're talking about right now are absolutely maniacal. They are lunatics. People that were never fit to be parents, to say the absolute least. Now, I'll give you the gist of it. They had a young child. They don't specify how young when this began, but you can kind of infer from the point where they were an infant. They neglected to give them actual human grade, baby grade milk, either breast milk or some type of formula. Instead, they fed the child soy milk. Yeah, you heard me right. Fucking soy milk. Anyway, that's far from the worst of it, but they also proceeded to feed this young growing baby a strict vegan diet, which only included like fruits, vegetables, and a small list of other things. They also thought that starvation equaled healing, so they purposely did not feed the kid as much as they should have been eating. On top of that, they also gave this child ice baths and put them in saunas, as they have this extremely ridiculous belief, this pseudoscience, fake shaman, spiritual healing, whatever the hell they thought was going on. And it resulted in this poor kid, who is now 5 years old as of the time of reading this article, becoming blind, quadriplegic, and cannot talk as a result of numerous seizures and permanent brain damage. Yeah, it's pretty atrocious. But let's get into the article and discuss later. A couple from Tulare County, I don't know if I pronounced that right, this is somewhere in California, so if you guys know, let me know, brought their ill newborn to an Orange County hospital in 2020. The couple was convicted of child abuse for exposing the baby to extreme heat and cold, failing to provide proper nutrition. They face a maximum of 12 years in prison when they are sentenced July 25th. So in 2 weeks, they're gonna get that sentencing, and you can bet your ass I will be giving you that update. Parents who brought their unresponsive newborn to an Orange County hospital in 2020 were convicted of felony child this week on charges they exposed the baby to extreme heat and cold and failed to provide him necessary nourishment, causing severe brain damage that left the child a quadriplegic and unable to talk or see. John Andreas Gonzalez, 38, and Jacqueline Navarro, 45, were each convicted of felony child and endangerment, with an enhancement for causing great bodily injury to a child under 5, according to the Orange County District Attorney's Office. They each face a maximum sentence of 12 years in prison. Prosecutors said the couple consider themselves vegan, mucus-free fruitarians, which appears to refer to a belief in a diet aimed at removing mucus from the body. They were also followers of naturopathy, I don't know if I said that right either, prosecutors said, which typically means employing a more holistic approach to preventing and treating disease by addressing root causes. So yeah, this goes far beyond your typical run-of-the-mill vegan. This is more leaning towards like where Freely is, you know, in the fruitarian bubble of the vegan community, which seems to be growing for some odd reasons. I don't know why just eating only plants isn't enough. I don't know why you have to then restrict yourself to pretty much only eating fruit. It's extremely silly to me. Zana Samsonova already starved herself on this diet. It is not a healthy one, so I don't get why people are so drawn to it nowadays. It's so baffling. Now, it goes without saying, anybody with a brain and more than 17 brain cells can definitely determine that feeding this to a growing infant is not a good move. Now, I'm not going to use this as some segue into why children shouldn't be vegan. This is not a good example. This is such an extreme that there is almost no comparison between this and a regular vegan diet. Though I've already made many arguments for why a regular vegan diet should not be pushed upon a child either, but that's not for here. Gonzalez and Navarro appeared to employ misguided and extreme views related to their practices, including that the body could heal itself and that breast milk was toxic. Let me guess, you learned that from Freely, who also said having a period is toxic? Everything that comes from your body is just toxic, okay? Even natural breast milk, which has been fed to babies for eons, for as long as humans have existed, that's toxic too now. Crazy. According to prosecutors in lawsuits about the case, they would only feed the baby soy-based formula, fruits and vegetables, prosecutors said. In a lawsuit, his paternal grandmother said the couple tried to keep the baby on a plant-based diet and primarily fed him blended bananas and dates with honey. Honey? That's not vegan. Medical professionals, including naturopaths, again, I don't even know how to say that, recommend breastfeeding a baby during their first 6 months of life for optimal nutrition, or using formula almost exclusively. Within weeks of their son's birth, the couple also began putting him in high-temperature saunas and ice baths, prosecutors said. That's some Liver King nonsense right there, and look where that got him.
Me Liver King, make fire, break laws? Which laws? Look crazy, look mad from the outside.
Orange County authorities became involved in the case when the couple brought their limp, unresponsive son to Hoag Hospital emergency room in Newport Beach, where they'd been on vacation. The couple lives in Lindsay in Tulare County. The baby was gray in color, emaciated and catatonic, according to the statement from prosecutors. Emergency room doctors discovered the boy had extremely low blood sugar levels and suffered from hypoxia and constant seizures. Further tests confirmed that he had not been fed properly, prosecutors said. But even during the hospital stay, Gonzalez objected to many life-saving treatments and said he believed that starvation would lead to healing, the prosecutor's statement said. Yes, the rejection of nutrition approach to healing. The exact opposite of what your body needs. You know, when people tell you, like, drink lots of fluids, make sure you eat good, healthy food when you're sick. No, screw that. Just don't eat anything at all. Your body will heal itself. I don't understand how does putting in life-saving, necessary nutrients for yourself is somehow a detriment to you healing. It makes no sense at all. I don't know where these people got these ridiculous views, but some people should not be allowed to be parents, and this is a perfect example of that. Brain damage the boy suffered is permanent, doctors reported, causing him to be a quadriplegic, blind, and unable to talk, walk, or eat on his own. The boy is now 5 and under the care of his paternal grandmother. The grandmother had been concerned about her grandson soon after he was born and had repeatedly called the Tulare County Department of Child Welfare Services to report possible abuse or neglect. She filed a lawsuit against the county's welfare agency, claiming the agency failed to protect her grandson, resulting in the child's permanent brain damage. That case was settled in 2023 for $32 million, which at the time was believed to be the largest settlement obtained from a child protective services agency in California. This innocent child suffered from almost the first breath he took because of his parents' beliefs that starvation would cure him, Orange County District Attorney Todd Spitzer said in a statement. Instead of curing him, they robbed him of his sight, his ability to take his first steps, to say his first words, and his chance to see the world. Tragically, he will never get to experience any of those milestones because his parents starved him nearly to death instead of giving him the nourishment he so desperately needed. Gonzalez and Navarro are currently being held without bail and will be sentenced July 25th. So obviously these parents are subhuman garbage. To think that they would do that to their own child, for what purpose really? Some delusional beliefs. It's pretty absurd. Now, this is far from the status quo. This is not your typical vegan behavior. These people are absolutely maniacal lunatics, and they were never ever fit to have a child if they thought this way, that depriving your kid of nutrients was somehow a benefit to them. Like, I've heard a lot of pseudoscience in my life, but this is shocking at best because it's so ass backwards. I can't even find a way to try to justify this making even a sliver of sense. Nothing I can come up with. And I just want to say that they really, I can't even, it's hard to even get the words out. They absolutely destroyed this kid's future, their life. Like, they probably won't even live very long, if we're being completely honest, considering the permanent brain damage, the constant seizures, they don't even have the majority of their senses, you know? Like, you can't move your body. The kid can't move on their own. They can't see, they can't talk, wow. It's horrifying. Truly horrifying. And sometimes I feel ashamed to know that I'm even the same species as people like this. It baffles me to the core that they could do this and not even consider the consequences. I mean, were they really just that absorbed in some fairy tale stupid belief that they really convinced themselves that they were doing right? I don't know. It's shocking that there was no checks and balances between the two of them either. Not a single one of them was like, hey, maybe this isn't the move. No, they were both just like, oh no, this is perfectly normal, this is great, this is awesome, this works. Even with the concerned grandmother coming at their throats for this, they just ignored it. How disappointing.